for Carlos, Vaya condolences.
Hi and welcome to Gamers Web. Today I'm going to take a quick look at the 400th issue of the Judge Dredd magazine. The Judge Dredd magazine has been around since 1991. It's the first proper spin-off from 2000 AD, and it was the first time that Dredd had got his own title in the UK, without of 2000 AD itself. He had, of course, featured in the Titan Publications books, which were all reprints of existing 2000 AD stories, but this was the first time that Dredd actually got his own spin-off title, so he was the lead character in it. It was also quite famous for introducing a lot of artists and writers who have gone on to be synonymous with Judge Dredd, and issue 1 featured probably the greatest Dredd story of all time, which was America by John Wagner and my good friend Colin McNeil. Okay, so I'm just going to open this with my trusty blade. As always, don't run with these things, they're quite sharp and dangerous, and as you've probably seen on other videos, I'm having a bit of a problem with a tripod, as you probably heard as well then. I've gone through 2 tripods in 2 videos, and it's quite annoying. Right, okay, that's that aside. Okay, so we've got really nice cover on the front there. I'm not exactly sure who the cover is, we'll find out when we get inside it, but this is one of the guys who appears on the 2000 AD Facebook group, and he's also in, sorry, I've been sat down so long that the lights have gone off in the room. I'm now going to have to walk around to get the lights back on. Okay, those are bangs for your buck. You don't have that in every video, do you? All right. Okay, back to the beginning again. Right, so this is a bumper celebratory edition. As you can see, it's the 400th issue, featuring Judge Dredd, Anderson Side Division, Lawless, and more. Okay, and we'll have a quick look on the inside. I'm not going to spoil it because I don't want to do that kind of thing for anybody. Right, so the cover is by I can't find who's done the cover. Please forgive me, but the cover's very, very good. Okay, so basically just have a quick look at Sector Control, which opens up the Meg. Badges of Honour, which are new badges available for 2000 AD subscribers, and you get them free with every free set with every new subscriber of 2000 AD. And then strips. So we've got the first Dredd strip, which is by John Wagner with art by Aaron Flint, and Chris Blythe and Annie Parkhouse doing colours and lettering. Right, I'm just going to skip over actually looking at the story because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, because I really, really hate it when I actually get a magazine and someone's already telling me about it. Okay, new story starting in Bumper Prog 2100, which is going to feature Dredd, Kingdom, Skip Tracer, Brink, Fiends of the Eastern Front, which is amazing, and the returns of Sinister Dexter and Anderson Side Division. And of course there's Anderson having a little sleep in Judge Dredd's arms, who's doing his famous no to the camera as if he's Darth Vader. And Fearfire Mortis in the background. New thrills, old enemies. Right, I love Judge Dredd. Anybody who knows me knows that I've got a very, very soft spot for Judge Dredd. My first professional writing gig was on a Judge Dredd product. I proudly have a Judge Dredd tattoo, and I've got a very large collection of Dredd memorabilia, but I do think that Judge Death should give it a rest. It's old, it's done, it's dusted. Okay, so here we've got an advert for Misty, Volume 3, and The Ballad of Halo Jones, Volume 3 by Alan Moore and Ian Gibson. if you've never read Ballad of Halo Jones, I strongly urge you to go out and buy yourself a copy. It's one of the best things that Alan Moore has done. Alan Moore's very famous for lots of things such as Watchmen and V for Vendetta. But he did, like many other British authors and writers, cut his teeth on 2000 AD. And some of his best work was on Halo Jones. Okay, right, so Lawless, Ashes to Ashes 1, which is written by Dan Abnett and art by Phil Winsnade and letters by Ellie DeVille. Okay, I'm just going to completely ignore the story itself. The artwork's fantastic though. And then, okay, download the 2000 AD app. Turn that over quickly so you'll see the last page. Okay, we're going to actually have a quick look at this. This is Alan Hebden Interrogation. So it's going to be an interview by Steve Joel with Alan Hebden, and talking about his writing duties on Battle. Okay, so here we've got Major Easy and Rat Pack. Major Easy and Rat Pack, as you can probably tell just straight away by looking at them, the artwork's Carlos Ezquerra. And on a side note, everybody here at Gamers Web, especially myself, wishes Carlos a very speedy recovery. He's just had major surgery, and we all love you, Maestro. You're probably one of the greatest comic book artists of all time. Okay, more of the interview. And of course, though, there's Massimo Bernardinelli's my brain's gone. What was the name of the strip? It's not Mac 1. Oh, I can't remember the name of the strip. How embarrassing. But anyway, it's the Massimo Bernardinelli Death Planet. Meltdown Man, that's it. Meltdown Man, the guy who survived a nuclear explosion and ended up being thrown into a far future environment. Strange Brigade, and Star-Lord Mangwas. Star-Lord was the comic that actually merged with 2000 AD and was a sister comic to 2000 AD for about a year and a half before it merged, and we got quite a few characters that crossed over from Star-Lord, the most famous which being Strontium Dog. Strange Brigade, out now. You want to join the brigade? We'll have a review of the brigade very, very shortly here on Gamers Web. This is by Rebellion, and I've been hearing really good things about it. I'm just waiting to get my copy. Blunt 2, an interview with Steve McManus, who was basically Thug for quite a long while. Okay, and he was the editor of the first edition of the Dredd magazine. Okay, so I'm just going to completely skip past this story here of Blunt. Return of a very famous person with quite a rude phallic object, Devlin War. He's absolutely awesome. This is artwork by Mike Dowling. I've not read this, so I don't know. Advert for the 2000 AD Ultimate Collection from Hatchet Partworks. They're very good. I stopped getting them at about issue 6 because I've got most of the stories in graphic novel format anyway. And the same with the Dredd ones. I stopped getting them at issue 50 because I ran out of space. Okay, interview with Ian Gibson. Ian Gibson is probably better known for doing Robo Hunter, although he was one of the most prolific Dredd artists of the mid-80s. He did lots and lots of strips, and Ian Gibson was one of the artists who was responsible for the Robot Wars, which we'll get onto in another video shortly. He was one of the main artists in the Robot Wars, which is going to be the first featured sourcebook for the Judge Dredd Kickstarter, which has been successfully funded. Okay, Storm Warning, Part 1. Again, don't want to spoil it, so we just skip over it. Interview with Andy Diggle. And amazing. The Torture Garden, Part 1. David Hines, artwork by a script. Nick Percival has done the artwork. That is just amazing. And once again, Annie Parkhurst. Not very much attention gets given to the letterers in comic books, but Annie always comes out with amazing letters that just pop off the page, and they look fantastic, and she always does a really good job. So all kudos to you, Annie, you're fantastic, and long may you carry on doing so. Okay, so we'll skip through the end of that because I don't want to spoil it. Interview with Alan Barnes. Lots and lots of interviews in this, which is fantastic. I'm going to read all those in a bit. And Alan Grant, one of the other alumni of 2000 AD, along with Pat Mills and John Wagner. Alan is probably the most prolific Dredd writer with those guys. And this is Anderson. And of course, I'm not going to go through that, and we're just going to skip to the end. There we go. I'll cover that up so you can't read the end of the story. And Grave New World. Okay, right. So this is a twofer, because you get that, and you also get first shots by John Wagner, my pal Gordon Rennie, Robbie Morrison, Stats Johnson, Anika Miranda, Tyken Hoot, and Sam Hart. You'll please forgive me if I've got anybody's names wrong there. Okay, I have no idea what this is. I think it's just all. Oh yeah, it's we've got 6 stories here. Sons of Katie Did, See Zami Rome, Sit Emp by Gordon, Tribal, Firestorm, and Sino Town, again by Gordon. Right, so, and See Zami Rome's by Gordon. So that's 3 stories by Gordon Rennie. So I'm just going to rub his face in it and say like he's milking it when I speak to him on Facebook later tonight. Okay, so artwork's brilliant. These have all been printed before. I'm not actually going to dwell on that. But what I am going to do now is bring something else in, which is 2000 AD Prog 2100. Okay, so for a British comic to reach 1,000 issues is really, really difficult. For a British comic to reach 2,000 is nigh on unheard of. The only comics that are really stuck around over the years are The Dandy and Beano, and they are just kids comics. This is a comic that's aimed at a more mature audience. It's still aimed at young readers, but not the same hijinks comics as The Dandy and Beano. Okay, now every so often 2000 AD do this at least once a year. It's called the Jumping On Point, and what they do is they give you brand new stories that you can jump into. You don't need to know anything about any of the characters because it's all brand new stories. So we have Brink, Kingdom, Fiends of the Eastern Front, and Skip's Tracer, as well as Dredd. Okay, and the Dredd is called The Small House, and it's part 1. And there's Tharg giving a quick jump out there to what's going on, and he also tells you like this is where to start off with. The cover art on this is by George Perez, and if you just spare me 2 seconds, I'm going to find out who the cover art is on the magazine issue because it's bugging me because I want to credit the guy. The cover art is by Chris Weston on the magazine. There you go. Well done, Chris. That is amazing. I remember seeing the proofs of that up on Facebook. Absolutely amazing to see it and have it in my hand. Okay, so we've got Dredd. We've also got Brink High Society, Skip Tracer Legion, Anderson Side Division, Death's Dark Angels, Sinister Dexter Type Grouping, Fiends of the Eastern Front 1812, and Kingdom Alpha and Omega. Okay, so again, I'm not going to scroll through the actual strips because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Interview with Rob Williams and Henry Flint. Henry Flint, amazing, absolutely amazing. Brink High Society Part 1. If I can just get to the end, there we go. Anderson, Death's Dark Angels, Sinister Dexter Type Grouping, Fiends of the Eastern Front, which I absolutely love. I'm really looking forward to reading that. Hit the Deck. Okay, so subscribe to this and you get the Judge Dredd artwork book from Cam Kennedy and Johnny Higgins absolutely free. Really worth getting hold of. The Cam Kennedy one is fantastic. I've got that one. It's fantastic. Johnny Higgins is an amazing artist as well, but Cam Kennedy, always been one of my favourites. Cam, Colin McNeil, and obviously the maestro, Carlos Ezquerra. And there we go. There's an advert for the 2000 AD with Chris's cover. Kingdom Alpha and Omega. And finally, we have a preview of 2101, and on the back Ultimate Collector's Edition, and this is showing us Skiz. And also in issue 29, one of the greatest stories, again going back to Alan Moore. Alan Moore also did Skiz. He also did Deer and Quinch, which is Bill and Ted on acid, on magic mushrooms, on hardcore drugs, and also perhaps on licorice or something like that. It is very, very bizarre and very funny, and even now, 30 odd years after reading the first one, almost 35 years after reading the first one, it still makes me laugh. Okay, so that's our quick look at both of 2000 AD Prog 210 and Judge Dredd magazine 400th issue. Once again, I'd like to wish Carlos Ezquerra a very, very speedy recovery, and thank you, put that one there as well, thank you to all the guys at Rebellion for giving us an amazing comic book and still keeping true to its roots. You know who you are, but thank you anyway. As always, I've been Mark, Gamers Web, by gamers, for gamers.